Okay, so we're going to show you how to make this, how to do this assignment. Right here, you have all the problems, and we're basically going to find our way through this maze. We're going to start here, and we need to finish over here. So I'm going to mess with some of the tools that we really haven't messed with too much. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker, and I'm going to go ahead and focus on where I'm starting. I'm starting right here. So on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to do that problem. We're going to call that problem number one. It's really important that you label these so that way when I check your work, it's easy to know where you did each problem. So on problem number one, we have a leg of 6, a leg of 12, and a hypotenuse of x. On your scratch paper, you're going to be writing this. So let's see, we have a triangle. This is for problem number one. Make sure you're labeling your problem so it's easy for me to see which ones you're doing. And we said it had a leg of 6, a leg of 12, and a hypotenuse of x. Remember, to find the missing side, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to go ahead and write that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm going to go ahead and substitute my values. That means 6 squared plus 12 squared is equal to x squared. That means 36 plus 144 is equal to x squared. You guys have gotten pretty good at this, so I don't expect there to be too many problems right here. When you add these up, you get 180 is equal to x squared. Now, if I look over at, and then, sorry, to get rid of that square, we're going to go ahead and square root both sides. Remember that these are canceling, you're going to get x is equal to the square root of 180. Now, if I look at my answers, I don't see anything that looks like that, right? So what that means is I need to simplify that square root of 180. And that's something that a lot of us maybe didn't do too well. So I'm going to show you two different ways of doing it. Square root of 180, I think the easy way, but it takes a little bit longer. It's just to break up that 180, right? So I know 180 is the same thing as 18 times 10. And 18 is the same thing as 2 times 9. And 10 is the same thing as 2 times 5. The 2 doesn't break down, the 9 does, into 3 times 3. So 2, 3, 3, 5, and 5, that's all I really have. And so I'm going to go ahead and partner up. Let's see, I have 3's as partners. Let me change the color so it kind of stands out. I have these 3's as partners, so a 3 goes on the outside. This 9 is not part of the end, but this 2 will partner up with this 2. So it's also on the outside. It looks like that 5 doesn't have a partner, so we're going to put that on the inside of the radical. And then you get 3 times 2 is 6, radical 5. The other way you could have done it is to look for the biggest perfect square that goes into 180. And the biggest perfect square that goes in here would be 36. So I would go ahead. Remember, 36 are those perfect numbers, right? You'd go through your yellow numbers and look for the biggest one that divides it. That'd be 36 times 5 is the same thing as 180. And why am I doing that? Because I know the square root of 36. The square root of 36 is just 6. You get 6 square root of 5. Both ways, you get the same answer. 6 square root of 5, 6 square root of 5. So I'm going to come back over here. And you see that 6 square root of 5? I'm going to go ahead and color it. Now, if I were to color it right now, like for example, let me go ahead and make this thicker. If I were to color it right now, look what happens, right? Like it just doesn't look good. It covers up the answer. So instead of doing that, we're going to change the opacity on it. What I mean by that, you see right here, it says opacity. It makes it show you like how much is see-through. So by doing that, it actually makes it into like a highlighter. And of course, oh, there you go. So you would color in this one. Obviously, I'm doing a horrible job, but that's because my computer's lagging. But you know what I mean. You would highlight this one, and what that means, let me change the opacity back. What that means is that my next problem I'm going to work on is this one. This would be problem number 2, because that's where my answer is directing me to. And so right here on my paper, I would start with problem number 2. I would do the next one, and so on and so forth, okay? So again, you're doing this on paper. I'm doing it on whiteboard just because That's all I really have. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend that this is my paper. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. I'm going to call this, save this as number 1. Again, you're not going to have to do it this way because obviously you're going to be uploading your picture. But over here, I'm going to go ahead and upload the picture. You would take a picture. I'm uploading mine. And you would show me all your work, okay? Now, if you're putting multiple papers, just remember that you can move this thing. And if for some reason it's not working, you just click on this little square right here and it allows you to move it. It also allows you to resize it, so if the work is hard to see, right? So that way when you upload your second picture, you can grab it, you can move it, and you can show me both pictures because they tend to end up on top of each other. Let me actually show you what I mean. If I upload it again, a lot of times you do this and you go, oh, I only got one of my pictures. That's not necessarily true. Look, both pictures are there. It's just you have to kind of separate them, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. I think that's it. And yeah, make sure that this is highlighted all the way through and that you're able to find your way through this maze. Eventually, you will get to the finish line, and that you upload your work on the other one. All right. Good luck.